This is a documentary on the village markets in Bangladesh. You can read in the newspapers or anywhere else that the Bangladesh government is saying that there is no poverty, that they have a lot of money, and that they're in good condition. I'm not saying anything against the government and their statements, but you yourself can tell by looking at these people's faces and understand their poverty, their education, their happiness, and their health. These village markets are only open 2 times a week. And on these 2 days, every week, as you guys can see, it gets very crowded. And there are lots of people who come here to buy their groceries and shop for themselves and their families. The people in this clip are selling fish, different types of fish. They collect the fish from different areas and they sell them right here in the village markets. You can see that some of the fish are very fresh. Some are still even alive. In this village market, the sellers come 2 times a week, meaning the buyers, they also come twice a week, and they buy things that they need for the whole week or so. The village people, they can't afford to eat fish or meat every day, and not everyone has a refrigerator in their house. If they buy such food, they can't store the food for a long time. They mostly buy chicken, fish, and vegetables on these 2 days. On the other days, some eat rice with onions and green chili only, or they eat other simple foods. People cannot buy lots of fish. One person maybe buys 1 or 2 pounds of fish for themselves and their families. However, people who are very poor can't afford such fish. You can see the small bags in the hand of the customers. They put the fish and meat that they buy for the whole week into that small bag. You can see the small kids who are walking around here and there. These are the kids of these sellers. They're helping out their fathers to sell. There are other kids who are just poor, and they help the sellers. They clean and do other things. After the sale is over, sometimes these kids are offered some fish or some meat for their hard work. Here you can see that there is some argument over the price of fish. This is very common and happens ever so often. You can also see that dry fish are being sold. It's very popular and very tasty. Usually, the fishermen dry the fish in the sunlight. Research shows that the dry fish in Bangladesh is unhealthy because of the pesticides and insecticides that are used. The effects of the pesticides can be very harmful and can even be one of the causes leading to cancer. However, the government may be active about this issue for a few days and try to do something, but after a couple of days later, they stop caring and stop taking action. The guy selling the fish cut his finger with one of the fish bones, but once the blood was dry, he continued touching the fish and selling them. People also put money on top of the fish, which is very unsanitary. There are also lots of elderly people out here in the village market who are either selling things or buying something. This man here is sitting on the streets and selling jorda, which is a popular thing to eat with pan. On these days, there are fresh vegetables available because they collect the vegetables from the field on that very day. However, some may not be safe because the farmers use lots of pesticides. The people in the village may not know much about pesticides, but most of the people in the village are unhealthy.
you.
are also sold. Many people eat them for breakfast. They either boil it or bake it. It is very popular, and the good thing is, it's also very cheap. Many types of spices are also sold in these village markets. There is a large variety of spices. For example, there's turmeric, chili powder, salt, coriander, lentils, moong dal, and there are so much more. Other than the large variety of spices, there are also onions, garlic, ginger, and others that are sold in these village markets. People also come to shop in the village markets in the slippery roads, which can be very dangerous. It can be even worse when it's raining. There is also urad dal and whole dried chili and so much more, which goes to show the large variety of things that are sold in these village markets. There are also live chicken that are sold. Along with chicken, you can buy other types of meat like goat and beef. Some people have addictions. They eat pan with shupari, lime, and jorda, which is one type of tobacco. If you chew pan with jorda, it has the same effects as tobacco. In some cases, it could even be one of the reasons for chronic mouth ulcer and also mouth cancer. The people who chew pan with jorda regularly, they may lose the taste of food. Shupari is also known as betel nut. Markets, there are some permanent shops where they sell spices, onions, garlic, soap, bread, rice, lentils, bakery items, cosmetics, milk powder, tea, coffee, oil, sugar, and so much more, etc. Except for vegetables, fish, and meat, they sell all the other grocery items. There are also fruits being sold, but sometimes the fruits can also be dangerous. The people of Bangladesh can't always eat fruit. For one, it's very expensive and not many can afford it. Also, because it's so expensive, the sellers can't sell all the fruit. Therefore, they put formalin in it to preserve it. This can be very harmful to the people who eventually consume it or eat it. It's a type of special food as well. If someone is invited or you have guests over, you buy fruits for them. People don't eat fruits in their daily routine or anything like that. There are also different types of clothing being sold in these places. There are jerseys for Brazil and Pakistan. During the World Cup, they sell lots of these shirts. Sometimes the people in Bangladesh love Germany or any other country so much that they may not have lots of money, but they use their savings and what they have to make 5 or 6 mile long flags of these countries. Some were even invited to those countries to meet the people. How much they must love those countries. You can also see that men aren't wearing regular pants. They're wearing lungis or Punjabis. Also, women are wearing saris and other forms of clothing. This is the life. This is how people survive.